that, look at that. Look at that big one come out
There you go. Man, that's a big one you got there.
Look at that big one come out there and got it.
Heck yeah.
No, he missed it. He got it, he got it, he got it.
Rising with the morning sun, I got no work today.
There he is.
Find me
Oh, it's 2 of them. I got 2 of them. Holy cow, look at that. Look at that. You know what I need to Jim. Oh, my. Look at that. They're both good ones, too. Bring your fish over here. You're bragging about your big fish.
Wow.
There we go, girl.
Always like that, Jimmy. Hey.
Ooh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. What a strike. What a gorgeous strike. I got a late start today, but I'm telling you, look at that fish. Look at that beautiful fish. I got a late start today. I'm fishing at the waters right outside of Montgomery, Alabama. We fished here before, and they've got, this is just an extremely incredible place. It's a development that's got, is he gonna jump? He says, I'm not jumping, Jimmy. Oh man, what a way to start the day. Look at that right there. Will you look at that? That is gorgeous, man. Man, oh man, oh man. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Jimmy Houston spinnerbait. Wow, what a day to start the. It's late. It's 10:30 in the morning. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning, but we've driven a lot. We had to get settled in where we were staying. Look at that. Oh, oh. What a way to start the day. I don't know really what we're going to fish with, but it's cloudy, it's springtime, so this is what we're going to start with. I know that. Now, I may not pick up another single bait all day long. I may throw a spinnerbait, and that may be all I throw. I don't know, but my goodness, what a way to start the day. Big old 6-pound fish. Jump up there and grab my spinnerbait. I mean, it dominoed on it. Woohoo! It crushed that spinnerbait. I mean, it crushed it. This is an incredible development here. They've got just about everything in the world, and you're right here just outside of Montgomery, Alabama, and you look at these condominiums and beautiful homes on this lake, and they manage this lake really intensely to make good fishing for the people that live here. I mean, it's just amazing. My buddy Norman Latona and Scott Sharonis, they manage this lake, Southeastern Pond Management, and we fished here before, and we caught a bunch of big bass, and we caught an incredible amount of big crappie. We did a crappie fishing deal down by the dam. We're going to go down by that dam here in just a little bit, and in fact, I'm just going to fish my way down there is what I'm going to do. Oh, come here, baby doll. Come here, sugar bear. Nice fish there. Fish is way out here, but I'm really shallow. In very, very shallow water. And stretch my. That's a nice, healthy fish, so that's a chunk right there. When you catch a fish on a spinnerbait, if you got a good light wire, heavy vibrating spinnerbait, it's going to bend them all around like that guy there. So you got to bend them back. And in doing that, you're weakening that wire every time. So you know, keep that in mind. But you're going to have to bend it back just right. These spinnerbaits are designed to run perfectly with those blades that are on them. Now that is one of the most interesting things to throw at that you can throw at. And years ago, when we started fishing in Louisiana, we were throwing around that Spanish moss, and it was kind of difficult. You had to get your bait up there right under the cypress trees in order to get a bite, and yet you'd throw, and just sure as the world, your spinnerbait or your worm or your crankbait would catch on that Spanish moss, and it wouldn't go in the water. So what you've got to do is don't concentrate on, and one of my Louisiana buddies told me that, don't concentrate on where you want your bait to land or the tree, concentrate on the moss. So you're concentrating on the moss, and that way you'll hit the holes right in between the moss. That sounded like a little bit of reverse psychology to me, but I promise you it worked. You see all those casts I made around that tree right there? I didn't catch a fish, but I didn't get tangled up in the moss, not one single time. Golly, did you see that? I mean, right on my rod tip. I mean, right on my rod tip. I didn't have out 6 inches of line when that big bass come up and got it. I mean, didn't have out 6 inches of line. I got out more than that now. Oh, look at that, giant. Power pole down, Jimmy. I am power pole down. God, it's a big old fish. Back here, landing by my seat. God, it's a big old fish. Man, oh man, oh man. God. I mean, I had 6 inches of line out. That's the thing about fishing shallow water. When you're fishing this shallow water like this, and you only got 2 foot of water under the boat, these big female bass that are out here, look at that. These big female bass that are out here, they're gonna hit your bait when it comes by them. Look at that. That is a healthy, look at the belly on that booger, will you? That is a giant fish. Woo! You're kind of been up there, legend spinnerbait. Woo. Look at that. Man, oh man, that is a big bass. Let me tell you what's happened. It's dropped 15 or 20 degrees in the last... It's dropped 15 or 20 degrees in the last 10 minutes. And a big, big, giant thunderstorm came by and went right through there, and it sprinkled on us a little bit, but hopefully we got a little reprieve. We're going to get rained on today, there's no doubt about it. But man, the pressure is dropping. This is exactly the right type situation to catch big bass. We're fishing super shallow water. I'm talking, you know, my motor, my Mercury motor's hitting back there. That motor hits back in these pockets because they're super shallow. And that's why you're liable to catch a fish anywhere. So what I want to do, as soon as I caught that fish, I power pole down because I didn't want to move up any further into this pocket. We're hitting these pockets. This is the third one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the third one. This is the third one that we got a big bass in. The third one, so third one, yeah.
This portion of Jimmy Houston Outdoors has been brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Jimmy Houston Outdoors, America's favorite fishing show, is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Mercury Marine, go boldly. By Soft Science, supreme comfort footwear for the angler. By Shell Rotella, the engine oil that works as hard as you do. And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, better parts, better prices every day.
Man, I just got a glimpse of a fish. Oh, holy cow. There was one under that tree. I called that shot. Holy cow, look at the size of that fish. Will you look at the size of that fish? Holy moly, that's a giant female. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get back here. Oh, golly, what a fish. Oh my goodness. Come here, baby. Look at that's an 8-pound fish. Woo! Look at that fish. Oh my goodness, look at that fish. Oh, holy cow. I gotta get up here and get my wind. Gee whiz. You know, let me tell you the deal on this fish. You see, that's the only tree along there for like 100 yards. We went through there and we never got a bite. Oh, it's got cold. That Jimmy Houston spinnerbait out of your mouth. We never got a bite all the way down that bank. And I got to that tree and I just made a statement that that tree is a perfect place. You know, a deer would come and make a scrape under a tree like that. The tree make a scrape under there and leave some scent on the limbs. That's exactly the kind of place that big bass like to spawn. Look at her tail. Look at her tail. Look at her tail. Look at the blood on her tail. She's in there, and I actually had to make 8 or 10 throws, 8 or 10 throws back there in that same spot. The second throw that I made in there, when my bait got to the boat, I actually thought I saw, well, I did. I saw just a flash underneath my bait. Saw a flash underneath my bait, and it was probably the male, because I don't think it was a real big fish. And so I just kept pounding it. I made 8 or 10 more throws, and then finally that big female come up and dominoed on that spinnerbait. Wow, what an incredible, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if I don't get another bite the rest of the day, that's worth the whole day right there. That's the whole deal right there. See that big fish come up and get that bait? And to pick out the spot where it is. Now, if we had another tree or two, now the next place we got trees right in the corner of where that big riprap starts right there. There's one. Good one, too. Oh, he's not a giant. He felt a lot bigger than that. He's a nice one, though. Jimmy, you're getting spoiled here, baby, when you're saying, it's just a little one. He felt like a pretty nice one. He hit right on the bank. I'm gonna go back down through that, I think, with a crankbait. Get my deep smoothie out. I'm trying to slow roll that a little bit now. I couldn't get him to hit it up on top on that riprap. Drops off pretty quick. So I think I may turn around and go back down that riprap. These ripraps are really good in February and March like this. Holy cow. Gee whiz, look at that fish. Holy cow. Gee whiz. Oh my goodness, he come off. Whoa, that was an 8 or 9 pound fish. Holy cow, right out in front of that tree. Right in front of that tree, just like that other big one I caught. Oh my goodness. Did you see the size of that fish? Gee whiz. Wow, that's 2 of them big ones that I've lost. Is that amazing? There's beds evidently back underneath those trees, and those big females are out in front of those beds. Evidently, that's what the deal is. I've seen that happen a jillion times anyway. That's the deal, man. That big fish hit halfway back to the boat, right out in just wide open water. I mean, come up and ate that spinnerbait. I don't know how she come unbuttoned. Wow, it's a giant. I think that was bigger than the last one. I think that was bigger than the other one I caught. Oh, there he is, right in front of that tree. Called it again. Called it again. Right in front of that tree. Power pole down. One of the things you got to do is power pole down to keep from getting up in the woods. Come here, baby. Come here, baby dog. Look at there. Hey. There might be a female there. I might want to make a few more casts back there. I don't know if I'll throw this one out there and catch him again. I want to show you something right there. Catch and release. Somebody else has caught that fish recently. And look how big that pretty female that is. And I caught it on this side, somebody else caught it on this side. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Ooh. Yeah. All right. I'm power pulled down. I'm gonna make a few more throws back there.
This portion of Jimmy Houston Outdoors is brought to you by Jimmy Houston Extreme Energy. Jimmy's Look Back is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time.
Is it good?
It's coming this way.
It's a pretty good one that hit in those brim, I'll guarantee you that.
Golly, Jimmy. Push your fighting drag, push your fighting drag. Let's put that switch, you got it?
Yeah.
Boy, I guarantee you, that's that big one that jumped in them brim. Holy cow. Get him up here and I'll get him, son. Don't break your line. You only got 12-pound test line. Oh, he pulled off. Golly, that was about an 8 or 9 pound fish. Holy cow. Man, oh man. Golly, what a fish. Can't believe he just went down there and pulled off, didn't he?
Yep.
Man. How you feel?
Stupid.
Wasn't your fault. No fighting drag slipped, didn't it, when you pushed it?
It was. I've been fishing with it like that.
Oh, you've been fishing with it, Dave?
Uh-huh.
Golly. Feel sorry for you, son.
No problem.
That's fishing. That's fishing.
Okay. Got one?
Thought he got off. Oh, it's a big old
There's
brim.
one. I got one too.
You got one too? You got a brim or a bass?
I don't know.
I got a big, giant brim on that crankbait. What you got? Golly, you got a bass.
Yeah.
have you got a bass? Well, folks, that's brim fishing in Illinois with a little bass fishing thrown in. Oh, where is he, Jamie? That's a nice one, isn't it? Oh, that's a pretty fish. Beautiful fish. Get him up here.
I'm trying.
Beautiful fish. Oh, yeah. Good fish, son. We caught some big bass. Boy, that's a beauty, Jamie.
Come here.
And we caught some big bluegill. Most of the bluegill came on a Roadrunner, a little small Roadrunner, 32nd ounce.
Got him.
All the bass come on a chartreuse, an orange belly, deep wear. That's the same color as the bluegill, so that's what we did. And we caught a bunch of them, and we had a heck of a day. And Jamie, you lost, I guess, the biggest bass you've ever caught in your life.
Jimmy's Look Back has been brought to you by Ranger Boats.
There he is. Golly, did you see that? Holy cow, another giant. Man, I don't know how I kept from catching that fish. Wow, he hit right on the bank. I mean, he hit right on the bank. That's another giant, good gosh. He come up there and jumped 3 feet in the air and deposited my spinnerbait right back in my face. Huh. There was some fish schooling back in here before, wasn't it? Right at dark. Didn't we get on something that was chasing shad or something? There's one. This is the littlest one of the day. But it counts. Is that a crappie? A crappie or a bass? That's a bass. Up for a minute there. Look how fat he is. Holy cow. This is why there is really big fish in the water. So look at that fish right there. That's only about a 13-inch fish. So look how broad he is. Look how big he is across the back. The back's real broad and wide. He's got good sugar. Fat little girl. Fat little girl. Well, that's good. It's been a long time since I had a bite. That's that north wind got here. There's a fish. One on that square bill. Picked that little RC up. The fish had kind of quit with this big front come in. And they kind of quit my spinnerbait on me. I've gone, since I lost that big in about 6 or 7 pounds, I've gone about an hour without a bite. So I picked my little RC square bill up. That's not one of those giants like I was catching, but really a big, pretty healthy fish. Yeah, look how fat that fish is. Oh, my. Well, when my buddies at Southeastern Pond checked this lake here a while back, they said it was probably as healthy as it's ever been, and it really is. Those are just beautiful fish. Beautiful fish. Those big giants that I've been getting a hold of, they have really been special. I mean, they have really been special.
Jimmy Houston Outdoors is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. By High Seas, when the money's on the line. By Jackson Kayak, Advantage Fisherman. By Orion Coolers, never lose your cool. And by Lucky Strike, where preparation and opportunity collide. Houston's Helpful Hints is brought to you by Jimmy Houston High-Tech Performance Fishing Rods.
You know, spawning bass are, oh, there's a fish right there. That's a little bitty bass. Spawning bass are, it's the smallest thing I've caught all day right there. Spawning bass are kind of fun to fish for, you know, and one of the things that you hear anytime people are fishing for spawning bass is that, well, all I saw up there was some bucks. I couldn't ever see any females. Anytime you see those male bass on the bed, or just even anytime you see the beds, most of the time the female's not up there. She doesn't really spend much time up there. Now, if you're fortunate enough to catch the female when she's up there and she's spending a day or 2 or 3 days, that's about the maximum they spend. and you can catch that fish, no doubt about it. But where you want to fish for those female bass is out in front of them. And you can do it with a lot of different ways, but spinnerbait's as good a way as any to catch those big female bass. A crankbait works good, a sinking worm works good, a jerkbait works good, but a spinnerbait works exceptionally well. But here's the deal. Here's the deal what you want to do when you're spinnerbait fishing this time of the year. Look for the places where you think a bed may be. You don't even have to see a bed. We fish a lot of lakes in Oklahoma and Texas and Arkansas that are real muddy, and you can't ever see a bed, so you don't ever see a bed. But you want to look for the type places where they are. They like to bed like back in behind boat docks. They like to bed underneath trees. Just like a big buck makes a scrape under a tree, a big bass likes to bed under a tree too. So when you see those areas, concentrate, and here's the key. Here's the big deal. Make multiple casts to the areas that's a good spawning type area. When you find those areas, throw more than once in there. You might make 6 or 8 or 10 casts if you think there ought to be a bed right there. Go ahead and make several casts in there, and a lot of times you'll make that big old female mad and she'll jump out there and grab your bait. But you don't have to see the female bass to catch them when you're spawning. You can catch them quite well without ever even seeing a bed.
Well, it's late in the day and the sun's getting low. Caught me a big one, but I let him go. I sure had fun just watching him stretch my line. I made me a lifetime memory out here fishing Jimmy Houston and me. Hey, Jimmy, I think we've had